And we are live.
Woohoo! We're on live.
Greetings and welcome to 2017 Black Witch Chronicles. I'm Lakeisha Harris.
And I'm Lorena Elizabeth.
Welcome, 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 people. So we were supposed to have Iyalosa Osunyemi Akalatunde on this evening, and for unforeseen reasons, she cannot be with us tonight. So we're starting our broadcast, and hopefully we can have the Divine Goddess on with us another night.
Yes.
We're sending you love, good vibes, sister. And wishes for a prosperous and abundant new year. Lorena, so you're going to start us off.
I am. In honor of this beautiful full moon, I'm just going to read the Drawing Down the Moon prayer to kick off this first full moon of a whole new year.
Yes.
Okay.
Ashe.
I, who am the beauty of the white moon among the stars and the mystery of the waters, I call upon your soul to arise and to come unto me. For I am the soul of nature, who gives life to the universe. Let my worship be within the heart that rejoices, for behold, all acts of love and pleasure are my rituals. And you who seek to know me, know that your seeking and learning will avail you not unless you know the mystery. That if that which you seek you find not within yourself, you will never find it without. For behold, I have been with you from the beginning, and I am that which is attained at the end of desire.
Ashe. Blessings on that reading.
Ashe. Bless that. So it is.
Yes. Tonight, and it's such an apt reading, because tonight we're talking about gathering your community in this new year. There's so many political reasons that we need to gather our community, so many health and wellness reasons that we need to gather with our community, and we need to hold those that are near and dear us to our hearts, and also look after one another. Yes. This is the season of really caretaking, not for just other people, but for ourselves. And that is the key reason that we need to gather in community is, one, to not only just take care of those outside of us, but to allow the space for others to caretake for us as well.
To be able to receive. So many of us women, we're so used to giving, and we're so used to being the ones who take care of everyone. Mm-hmm. And we're so used to that we're unprepared to receive the same care or the same treatment from others. And coming out of this past year where there's been so much loss, there's been so much division sown, it's time to rebuild from that. It's time to, this is a fresh start. You know, it's time to rebuild our communities. It's time for us as women to stand together because there's a lot of us. And just imagine how much power comes when we all come together.
Right. And this is not just in us coming together in physical space, but if we can connect with one another in virtual space, and turn virtual space into ritual space, it can be of most benefit. I was just listening to a podcast that I love, which is Read. And today they had an advertisement for clinicians, I guess mental health practitioners, via online. I had no idea that there was, I guess it's kind of like Talkspace. I can't remember the name of it, but there was online practitioners where you can get counseling online. And I was like, why not? This is beautiful. Because often you and I provide tarot readings via online. And I've always thought, oh, counseling could be provided via virtual space, you know? So And so can ritual. I think of Black Witch Chronicles as a ritual and wellness text.
It is, absolutely.
And
I mean, there's a lot of groups out there that operate solely online and, you know, have full-blown rituals of the mystery and full moon and new moon and Sabbats and Esbats, and they're celebrated online because people are spread across the globe.
Right.
You know, and I think that's wonderful.
Yeah. So then what are the things that come to your mind, Lorena, when we think of gathering our community?
I think strength, first of all, is the first thing that comes to mind, because we're definitely stronger together than apart. Family, you know, we're not only family by blood, you know, we're family by beliefs, we're family by preference.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many other aspects of family than just blood, and being able to commune with like-minded people, being able to learn and to grow from each other. So, you know, because we all have whatever knowledge that we have, we all have whatever beliefs that we have. And, you know, when you keep it to yourself, or when you know, you're just not able to have other people, you know, of like mind to share that knowledge, you know, in the world today, things are so compartmentalized. We need to start unpacking those boxes.
Mm-hmm.
We need to start putting our expertise together with others' expertise to get a full view of the bigger picture, because it's bigger and well beyond any of us as an individual.
Right. You know, I watched Barack Obama's speech last night, and one of the things I found, or themes that I found in his speech, was gathering in community for a common cause.
Yeah.
That, you know, these political issues that are being presented right now, racism, deep intolerance for people, not expanding the love to not, or expanding the love towards one another beyond the scope of race,
Yes.
Beyond the scope of just looking at my individual plot and what I can get out of life, but actually seeing what it is my whole community needs and organizing around that cause.
Yeah.
I found that as a key theme, doing the work. So community building for me is actually expanding that love, or my heart chakra, big enough to forgive, not always forget, but forgive in ways that I never thought I would be able to forgive.
I understand that. I was laying in bed yesterday and I started thinking about forgiving and forgetting. But the thing is, once you forgive, you don't have to forget,
Mm-hmm.
because by forgiving, you're allowing yourself to release that pain.
Mm-hmm.
So even though you remember, it doesn't bring with it that heartache or that pain that you experienced. Once you forgive, you're able to kind of step outside of it and view it from a different perspective. And that's how you can learn. You know, if we just forget, where's the lesson in that?
Right.
We don't have to forget, but I think that forgiving is a requirement for healing and moving forward.
Absolutely. And we're going to need that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really foresee times in which we're going to have to release some of the petty and go forward in love, because we really are in need of one another. We're tied to the cause.
Yeah.
A lot of people are dealing with a lot right now by way of anxiety and what's going on. And that anxiety causes you to pull back from one another, right? It makes you want to go in a shell. It makes you want to close down or shut down. but that is never the work that needs to be done.
Right.
You know, the work that needs to be done, I believe you said there was a line in the prayer that you just said, that is internal work before it's external work.
Always, always. Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And I mean, I think it's our job, to spread that knowledge, to help open minds and hearts, and to help people understand where the anxiety comes from, and to know that the only way to dissolve that fear is to face it in ourselves.
Yeah, it takes big people to do that. That's a big job. It's big
It is a
work.
big job.
A lot of times, that fear can eat you alive. And one of the works that can be done in this new moon period is ritual around releasing that fear. That creates a barrier to gathering your community, to gathering your support systems, to reaching out to people. And sometimes we can be the offender and apologizing. Fear will keep you from apologizing when you know you need to apologize.
I agree with that.
People put it on the ego a lot, and it does. I mean, it has to do with ego, but a lot of the times it's fear of being rejected.
That's true, but that still is another story that the ego is telling you. That the ego is telling us. Someone will view us differently, or I'm going to make a fool out of myself, or they were more wrong than I was. Why should I apologize first? It's like, it's like the dog chasing its tail, and the ego will continue to send you around in that circle until you just stop and say, no matter whether the other person agrees with me, no matter whether they accept my apology, I'm going to own my wrongdoing in this situation, even if my wrongdoing was only perpetuating, what they started or whatever. We have to be willing to go in ourselves and say, I'm sorry that I did that.
Right.
And I mean, that's hard for a lot of people because pride, and fear of rejection.
Right.
Once again, these things are just the stories that our ego is telling us to keep us inside that rat race.
And that is the spell. The spell of fear.
It definitely is.
But
we're here to wipe that out.
Yes.
Gloves on, fear. Because we're here to kick butt.
Right. It's 2017. Release that. The time is now to gather in your communities. If you have something that you need to apologize for, do it to yourself first. Apologize to yourself in the mirror, looking at your own face, and start to harness that love energy for yourself. And then reach out to those you have harmed, because that creates a barrier to community building. And whether you know it or not, these are the people that you're going to need now and in the next 4 years.
Yes. And they're going to need you as well. They're also going to need you.
Yeah, we need each other.
We just can't be afraid to reach out. And because you know what? This is one planet. Okay? As far as we know, there's no off-world to retreat to. We're one people. We're all humans on our planet, and we all need to be able to work together. Okay? I'm not saying that we all have to share the same views. We all have to believe in the same things or share the same principles. But, at the base of it all, most people do share the same types of core values. And one of those main things is treating each other the way that we want to be treated.
Right.
And
another thing that I feel like we need to be really conscientious of when we're talking about gathering our community is gathering our spirit family.
Yeah.
I'm in love with gardening and the earth and the planet. And a lot of times I went out to the water this summer and apologized, not just for me, because since I feel like even unintentionally doing harm to the planet, the car I drive, I'm not always biking. I am using fuel. I'm not doing everything at 100%. So whatever I have done to the earth, I want to continue apologizing and creating a better environment. Not just apologizing, but trying to be a better person to our environment, to our earth. And I believe that if we all can conscientiously do that and participate in that process, then that is also calling in of healing energy that can right what's going on in this world.
Yeah. There's this political figure, his name is Van Jones.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he's doing this series, The Messy Truth, where he's like going back and forth through, he's just facing people who are not like, of the one mind, one spirit kind of people, who are very divisive. Mm-hmm. Like right now he's going into Detroit and, interviewing people who voted for Trump and people who turned their backs on Hillary or didn't go out and vote at all. And he's not a fan of Donald Trump by any means, but how Trump supporters are, or at least how they're portrayed in the mainstream media, as being very divisive, mm-hmm. very racist, mm-hmm. With there's a lot of pain there. Mm-hmm. And, he's a Black man and he's going into these families and speaking to them and getting their points of view and finding common ground with these people to move forward from that space of common ground. So, it's like, no matter how much you dislike a person or feel extreme distaste for their views or beliefs, there's always some common ground to be had. Hey, you have a daughter? I have a daughter. Hey, your daughter's 12? My daughter's 12. Hey, you love your daughter? I love my daughter. Hey, your daughter's in cheerleading. Wow. There's any and everything. There's always something to hold on to move forward. And it's only through that open dialogue with people that we can find that common ground and move forward and change hearts and minds. When we're projecting things outward, almost 100% of the time, that's from some internal pain. That's from some personal experience that we've had, and we're just projecting it out onto any and everyone who's different from us.
Right.
So I think with this new year, it's time for us to start withdrawing. And no matter how radical the differences of opinion, there's still something to talk about.
Yeah.
And we just have to be able to talk things out without taking anything personally.
I see Deja here. I'm wondering if she is able to chime in now.
Can you hear us, Deja? My voice is cracking.
Yeah. Well, hopefully she gets it together. Deja is our other beautiful co-host of Black Witch Chronicles. And as you all can see, there has been a lot of shifts and changes from 2017. And what a difference a year makes. And I know that there has been a lot of shifts and changes for you all as well. We all went through it in 2016. So just release that energy, sit in your divine power, root yourself in your truths, and go forward. That's what you have to do.
Yes. Use those pains as a catalyst. Use those things that you didn't like as a catalyst to help you move forward.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we've all experienced a lot of mess this past year. I mean, there was a lot of shearing away of things that didn't serve our higher good. Mm-hmm. And some of these things left, they were surprising. Some of the things that came up and we didn't even recognize that they were problems for us. Some things we did recognize as issues, but we still fought to hold on to them because we were comfortable or we were used to those things.
Child, I was holding on. I was holding on to a lot of things, people, places, ideas. And honey, let me tell you, I was dragged.
That's what happens. You know, we have to be able to trust our intuition and to trust, you know, that inner guidance system, that divine spark that lives in all of us. We have to trust that heart space, because that heart space is not going to lead us in the wrong direction.
Right.
Okay. And we also have to trust people to be who they are. You know, whether they're really good to us or not, or whether they're really good for us or not. You know, we have to be able to really use that power of discernment. It's really, really important. And not only use it, but to follow what it tells you.
But you know, Lorena, we have been, I want to say that it has been, you want to get down? Okay. Sorry. We have been so trained out of using that intuition. We have to relearn how to use that. Mm-hmm. You know, following that heart space, that love space that is intrinsically telling us this is the wrong situation, this is the wrong person, this does not fit our needs anymore. We need to get past it. And that is part of the community building, right? Knowing where you are situated, what is best for you, so that you're not bringing extra baggage where people are trying to build something. Mm-hmm. You know?
And no more fear of the truth. Okay. Yeah. One of the main things that I noticed all last year was people's preference for untruths over the truth. Okay. Now, yes, you know, that saying, the truth hurts, that's a real thing, especially coming out of this past year. But the only reason it hurts is because so many people have been so adamant about holding on to the untruths. You know, so, you know, when you spend so much time fearing the truth or holding on to what's not true, when the truth finally comes down, it's going to hurt.
Or what you want to be true.
Yes. Yes.
Because all the times what we want to be true is not the dang on true.
And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, that's only going to hurt us. Okay?
Right.
And standing firm in the truth, in your truth, means being able to say no when you don't want to do something, being able to say yes to receiving the blessings that are meant for you. So all of that involves letting go of the fear, as we were talking about earlier. And more specifically, we can move forward together at a much faster pace when we're all standing in truth.
You know, what you're talking about right now is speaking to my life, because I was just saying to myself, as much as I really do love my job and really do love my position, the truth is I want and deserve better pay. I do.
You do.
And I'm up with the damn birds in the morning. I mean, before it's daylight, I'm out of this house. And then
you are always working. You work more than anybody I know.
Honey, it is the truth. And I'm like, there is no way that I should be, at the pay scale I am. So really, honestly, saying, hey, this is what I deserve. This is what I want. And this is what I've worked for. And this is what I've created, in all honesty. And my brilliance, because they've also colonized us out of saying that we are brilliant lights. We are brilliant beings. We have brilliant ideas, and what we bring to the table is oh so valuable. Instead of saying I am brilliant and I deserve what I'm worth and I know what I'm capable of, I feel like I've been pulling back and like, no, I'm just gonna stay here. And today it was just like blaringly clear, girl, listen to your truth. And when I said today I am releasing my inability to expand, things started coming out from nowhere. Do you want to apply to this? Do you want to apply to that? And that is what the universe does. That is the cosmic energy. That is the magic. When you can let go, then you can also open up to receive.
Yes, girl, because the door is right there. All you got to do is just turn that handle, and it's a whole new world of opportunity, and it's a whole new world of blessings. And most of the time our biggest obstacle is ourselves. And once we recognize our worth, and not only recognize, but we're able to stand up and say, I'm worth more than this, that's all the universe is waiting for. Because the universe already knows. Yes.
Not just more than this, worth everything, Lorena. Like worth everything, it all. And we all are. We are not demanding anything in this earth or on this planet that we are not worthy of. Our demand for clean water, it shouldn't be seen as a burden. It shouldn't be seen as something extra. Our demand for shelter and food and adequate clothing.
These are necessities.
These are necessities,
Clean water is not a privilege. Clean water is a necessity, and everyone deserves it.
Exactly.
A home is not a privilege. It is a necessity, and we all deserve that.
Right.
And we have to look at, that's another thing where community comes from. We've got to stand together. Okay? We've got to recognize a lie for a lie and the truth for the truth. We've got to, like I said, unpack all these boxes so that we can learn the bigger picture.
So that we're clear.
Yes.
So that we're clear. And that's the other thing that community does, is it holds us accountable to be clear. It holds us accountable for clarity. It gives us directions and guidance. It roots us when we're feeling unstable.
Or alone.
Or alone, yeah, or scared. All of those things.
I recently started counseling a young woman who I've known since she was about 15 months old. And back, 20 years ago, her mother and I were very, very close. And then, at a certain point, we weren't that close anymore. And her daughter went somewhere else to live with her dad, and we lost contact. So over the years, I never stopped thinking about this girl. She always had a special place in my heart. I mean, I've got baby pictures of her with my daughter, and she recently came to me and, started explaining a lot of the experiences she's had and, you know, a lot of the trials and tribulations. I mean, she's a spiritually gifted young woman. She's a seer, an oracle. She sees things before they happen. And she was feeling like she was crazy and made to feel like she was crazy, like by her mother and other people. And, you know, I explained to her that holding on to grudges and, you know, wanting to blame people do act out, okay? And it's hard, especially when it's your mom. It's very, very hard to recognize that that person is coming from like their own pain. That person is responsible for their own actions. You're not responsible for the way that you were treated by your mom. You know, you had no say in that. But, you know, now you're a grown woman and you want to be able to move forward with your life, yet you're still holding this expectation that like one day your mom might wake up and see where she was wrong. Well, you don't have to worry about that, okay? Because it was never about you. It was always about her. And let me tell you, this girl had I've never seen such a clearing. I mean, it was almost tangible when she released that expectation. And, you know, the reason why I really felt her so strongly was because of my relationship with my own mom. And it never being what I thought it should be. And I had to just recognize that from where she was doing the best that she could from within herself. There was nothing else that she could do.
Right.
And I can't hold myself responsible for her behavior. And at the same time, I can't hold on any expectation of change, or I just have to operate from the truth and move forward.
And you know, sometimes we need somebody to tell us to go forward. Sometimes we need somebody to speak to us from their experience. About how life is, to kind of snap us out and out of, I don't know, this illusion of what life is. And into reality of and being concrete of what it really is, like bringing us back almost out of the fog.
And learning to create the reality that we desire and deserve. And we can't create a reality that we desire and deserve when we're constantly rewinding and, you know, trying to go back and make sense of the past and make sense of someone else's motivations. We can't create what we want. All we're going to do is just keep recycling that pain and just wondering. So it's very, very important when we want to build communities that we don't project those past hurts, those past suspicions into the current reality that we're creating. You know, we want to bring in love, and we want to bring in respect, and we want to bring in prosperity. And we can only do that through our own hearts. You know, nobody else can heal us or create that space for us. We are 100% our responsibility. And once we realize that, then we can expand to help other people come into their own self-worth and understanding that they can create a reality of happiness and joy, because we all deserve joy in our lives. Everyone.
And we can't navigate alone. That's the bottom line. We cannot.
Especially not with the political climate and the social climate that we're, you know, moving into right now.
Nope. We have to be a resource. We have to be a love space. We have to be the ones that we have been waiting for. You know, that keeps
so true.
That just keeps resonating in my heart space. we are the ones that we're waiting on.
We are.
We are. So, you
Be
know,
the change.
listen, and that is not just some random mantra that, you know, Lorena and I are actually doing that, you know, creating Black Witch University against all naysayers and all the chatter, and continuing to build a community, an educational space, a physical space, as well as a virtual space, against all of whatever chatter that goes on, and continuing to look at one another. And Tony, blessings out to Tony. Mwah.
Tony.
And, you know, continuing to build that heart space between us and collaboration, and saying that we are going to do this. So, you know, not waiting for somebody else to do it, but actually doing it ourselves.
Yes.
You know, and not knowing being vulnerable to the process, not knowing, you know, what it's going to look like, but just trusting our spirit guides, you know, trusting that community of spirits. And let me tell you, Lorena's spirit guides are over at my house all the dang on time. All the time.
Because they love you.
I done had it visits from her grandmama, like, make sure you put this in there. Don't forget this. So, so, you know, just trusting our guides and knowing that we are indeed the ones that we're waiting for.
And we are enough.
Oh, yes.
We are enough. We're not less than anything.
Yes. Yes, Ashe. We
Especially
are.
as Black women, that's something that we all need to realize and accept. We are always enough.
Mm-hmm.
And we're special. Don't let anyone tell you you're not special. And that goes for everyone. We're all special. We're all unique. But at the same time, we're all the same, because we're just on a different leg of the journey. We all came from the same place, and we're all going back there. Okay?
Come on. We were all energy manifested.
Mm-hmm.
All energy manifested, y'all. Okay, we're all the light and the darkness together. We are the totality of every atom and every wish and every prayer and every thought and every love-making session that our forefathers, and every sweat and tear that our foremothers and beings, you know, just divinely expressed. You know, we are what their prayers were.
Yes.
And if we don't get anything other than that, you know, if you don't take anything, just know that you were those ancestors' prayers, their manifestation of what they thought could be their future. I mean, I just imagine what my grandmother, my great-grandmother, who was physically abused by her husband, my great-grandfather, you know, physically abused. And I just think that she went through so much. And I'm sure she prayed prayers. I pray prayers for generations to come. And maybe she prayed prayers for me to be here today. And I feel her presence all the time, speaking to me, telling me what to do, guiding me forward. And if you can just sit and listen to the prayers, because they're still there, out there in the atmosphere, those prayers.
They are.
Still hear them if you just sit and be still. And then bring forth that energy and go forward.
Because everything is energy, even thoughts. And every single thing, everything you can touch, everything you can see, everything you can feel, it all started as a thought. Everything started as a thought. So just imagine how powerful your thoughts are. Everything in creation today began as a thought.
Hell, Donald Trump thought he could be president, and here he is.
Girl, what? Say it again. So, you know, we can all do that, but keep in mind, okay.
We are mightier. We are mightier.
I mean, it's true though. So if all you're thinking about is problems, if all you're thinking about is sad things, that's what you're manifesting.
Yeah.
So we got to manifest a strong community. We got to manifest strong ties and strong bonds. We got to manifest love and truth and mutual respect, compassion.
People are always asking me where to start. And I'm like, start with your mind. Like, they'll inbox Black Witch Chronicles. Oh, where, you know, I think I'm a witch. Where do I start? And I'm like, start with the mind. Start changing the mind. Do you think you're a witch, or do you know you're a witch? Do you know that you are a magical being? Do you know that you are a manifestation of chants, prayers, and words?
And there's that old tricky ego in there trying to write the story for people. I think I'm a witch, but I'm probably not. I don't have any power. I'm not strong enough. I don't deserve. Don't listen to that. What you think, you become. Okay? Like, it's just like when they tell you, you know, you walk around with a fake smile on your face, pretty soon it's real. You know, and come on. Yes.
And then, you know, your community needs you to know, needs you in your body, needs you to know who you are, needs you to know whose you are and from where you come from, needs you to know that magic does not just exist outside of who you are, outside of this body. Magic is existing internally. You're pulling it up from the earth. You're pulling it in from the universe. And if you are divine energy, that is the magic. It does not exist solely in the book, although books can give you guidance. It does not just exist in the tree that stands and grows for 400 years. It exists alongside you, inside of you, through you, runs parallel and horizontal. It is the all and everything, and so are you.
Just recognize that truth, recognize your own power, and stand in it.
That's
stand
right.
in it and shine. Shine. Don't fear the shine. Don't fear the naysayers. Well, why do you shine like that? Because I am.
Right.
You know, you can join me because I see your shine even if you don't. Okay? I'm not going to put anyone down, you know, because people pointing fingers, people standing in judgment, you know who they're judging. You know who they're pointing at. They're pointing at self.
Right.
You know, and when someone wants to turn around and point out a so-called flaw of mine, as if me as an individual doesn't realize my own flaws because I'm me and I know everything about me, it's like, okay, let's review this. What wrong are you perceiving in your own life that you feel necessary to point something out to me that I automatically know if it's true or not? You know, we have to be willing to acknowledge that we're just a mirror, a reflection. And too often we turn away in anger, or, you know, we're afraid of how they're going to react if we just tell the truth. You know, it's not me, it's you. We have every right to say that.
Right.
And it's only by we all have to face that truth if we're going to grow.
Right.
You know, if I'm being wrong, if I'm being an asshole, I can admit that. We all need to be willing to admit our faults, and that starts with admitting them to ourselves. Because it's only when we do that that we can stop projecting them onto other people.
And it's only when we do that that we can be receptive of the community, the divine community that is waiting on us, that is waiting to retrieve us, that is waiting to heal, help us heal, or facilitate a healing process that then we will be the leader in for ourselves, you know, and for other people, you know. So we're at 45 minutes out, and we should be getting ready to close up right about now. Lorena, do you have any final thoughts regarding gathering your community?
I just want to repeat something that Obama said in his farewell address. Instead of arguing with strangers on the internet, let's meet each other. Okay? If you live near each other, the only way you're going to come to an understanding is to be able to look into each other's eyes and see each other's truth. You know, there's only so much that we can do through the internet. I mean, we can reach a lot of people, we can change a lot of hearts, but when people live close enough, you can build a tangible community, you know, and that only can happen by getting together and learning about each other.
Yeah.
That's really, really important. We have to cast aside our doubts, our fears, and our expectations. We can't walk into these situations with an expectation of anyone's reaction, of anyone's behavior. That's how disappointment happens. So the best we could do is go with the flow and see where it goes. And if it doesn't go anywhere, okay. But you owe it to yourself and to the community building process to try.
And, you know, for me, as a person that often creates spaces for people to gather in community, I want to say that those that are creating the spaces, make sure that you know, really put it out there that this is a safe space where people can come and not expect to be verbally assaulted, that people can come and express their opinion freely, that we can gather and have a genuine conversation and learn from one another. And that this is a love space. It's a co-creative love space. And if you can't get with that, you can't come here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I really, you know, if you have a responsibility, if you are creating space and you are holding space and you call yourself a healer or light being or whatever, magic person, you have a responsibility at this point, because you know what's going on, social and political. You know what's going on and you know what's needed. You have a responsibility to create safe space for people, period. So
that's that.
I'm going to hold you all accountable. If I see the mess, I'm going to call it out. And I expect you to hold me accountable. I'm open to that. I'm open to growing, loving, healing. And thank you for tuning in and supporting Black Witch Chronicles. By the way, Lorena, we are almost to 10,000. Almost to 10,000 likes on Facebook.
We should do something special for when we reach 10,000.
Yeah, it's over 9,500. Can you?
Wow.
It's amazing. We just really love your support.
Black Witch Chronicles with your friends, especially now because you probably can win something.
Yeah. So we'll come up with something really, really nice. A drawing, a raffle.
What did we do last time? We did a reading, I think we did some oils.
Yes, we did. We it did. I gave bay rum out last time. Elizabeth Ruth over at Big Liz Conjure gave out some of her herb sampler.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, it was really a really good gift. So all made by Black witches, baby.
Yes, with love and power imbued.
So we love you all. Please gather your community. Please be vulnerable to that process. And we just send you light into the next full moon.
See you guys next time.
Bye-bye.